nutrients is actually spent on the ground. In other words, this man spends a lot of time crawling. And because his feet don't work, he has to overcompensate by putting a lot of pressure on other parts of his body. In other words, if you saw this man, guess what? His hands would be filled with calluses and sores because parts of his body don't work. That his elbows and his joints would be filled with inflammation because other parts of the body aren't working. Y'all still not here yet. In other words, this man would have bed sores and lesions on his legs because certain parts of the body are not working. In other words, there are certain parts that are on the verge of burning out because other parts of the body are not working. And it's an interesting thing because there, when he eats, all the parts get nutrients from the meal, but every part doesn't give to the body. In other words, when he sleeps, certain parts of the body rest, but they don't give energy to the body. In other words, whatever the body receives, the entire body gives it, but only certain parts of the body contribute. And see, this is an allegory to what Paul says to the Corinthian church, for he says Christ is the head, but we are the body. And there are certain parts of the body that are struggling because other parts of the body don't work. Okay, so if you hadn't got it yet, I'm rebuking all of those who come to church and watch church and view church, but you don't work in church. And the problem is that the 20% that work, the 20% that serve, the 20% that give are on the verge of burning out because we've got too much dead weight in the church. We've got parts of the body that receive from the body, but guess what? They don't give to the body. That they are blessed by the body, but they don't contribute to the body. They receive from the body, but they make no offering to the body. And see, the reason that you can't get a good head deacon is because the other deacons won't serve. And the reason you can't find a Sabbath school teacher is that one teacher's gonna have to serve every week. And the reason you can't find media folk is they're gonna have to be on duty all the time. And guess what? Those small parts are suffering because you got other parts of the body that don't work. I know you want to switch the channel and change it. It's okay with me, but I'm going to stand right here and preach the word of the living God. Because when we talk about what's wrong with the church, what's wrong is not the music. It ain't the way these little kids dress. It ain't that church don't sound like it used to sound. The problem is that we've got parts of the body that are not working. Are y'all hearing me today? And it's crazy because in the church of today, everybody's got a lot to say, but not everybody's got a lot of service availability. Everybody's got an opinion, but not everybody has a church obligation. And I'm just going to be honest with you, church, that when you come with a bunch of opinions, but you ain't serving, I'm going to nod politely and let it go in one ear and out the next, because I need some folk that are willing to come alongside in the digital space or in the physical space and not put it all on a few people, but we need the whole body to go to work. And see, friends of mine, this is epic because there are some of us, it's a strange thing. There are some folk I've met that don't go to church. They don't attend church. They don't give to church, but they keep their name on the church roll so that when they die, they can have a church funeral. But I need you to know it doesn't matter who's facilitating you when you go into the hole. What matters is that you serve the one that's able to bring you up out of the grave. And what I'm saying is that if we're going to get to being like the old school church, we got to be a working church.